Hi there everyone, I'm Alex Liu and I'm back with the follow-up to my previous video on analyzing quarterly results. Now in the first video we examined how to look at quarterly results in order to gain an insight into a stock in two areas, that is to look at the financial performance of the company behind stocks, as well as to get an idea about its relative valuations, whether the stock is expensive or is cheap, right? We must acknowledge that by looking at only one quarter result, it is like taking a snapshot that only gives us a very rough idea of a company's financial performance in terms of its performance last quarter compared to the same quarter last year, as well as its performance in the last cumulative period compared to the same cumulative period last year. And as for valuations, if we happen to be looking at the fourth quarter result, we can easily compute all the three relative valuation models for a stock, that is the price to earning ratio, the dividend yield, and also the price to book ratio. Now what would happen if you are looking at the first, second, or the third quarter results, where you can still compute the price to book ratio? You would find it a bit difficult to determine the stock's price to earning ratio or its dividend yield. So for this segment, I will share with you how to compile an 8-quarter profit and loss table, and once you have done that, how to use it to assess the current quarter performance, and also to assess the rolling 4-quarter performance. You have two 4-quarter performance, the last 4-quarter performance and the preceding 4-quarter performance, and then when you compare the two, you get a rough idea of whether the company is getting better for a period of 4 quarters, that is 1 year, and then compare that to the preceding 4 quarters, which is the preceding year. And finally, of course, we can use that to compute the price to earning ratio, the dividend yield, and as always the price to book ratio. Now I'm gonna use NLab as an example to demonstrate how we can build up the 8 quarters profit and loss table, right? This is how it looks like. This is my worksheet on NLabs. We have here the 8-quarter profit and loss table. We have a small table that I extract out from the first table to look at the quarterly result, to analyze that result, and also the 2 to 4 rolling quarters, so that we can make a comparison for the year that has just passed versus the preceding year to see how the company is performing. And of course, you will immediately see this black patch here. I actually cover it up so that we are zooming in only on onto these 8 columns here. But if I unmask it, remove the black patch, you will see that I have the quarterly result for all the way back to January 2007, right? So yeah, why don't we just leave it as that, and this is what you will be trying to learn to build up today, right? Okay, I'm gonna now show you a blank spreadsheet, right? What I will show you today is how to fill up these 8 columns of blanks, so that we can then later on use it to construct this table and as well as this one here. So right now we'll move on to the Bursa Malaysia website. As usual, we come to Bursa Malaysia website, the home page. We bring the cursor to listed companies, and then we click on company announcements, and this will give us all the announcement of of listed company on Bursa Malaysia. It is not sorted out or not arranged in category, but it is arranged chronologically with the latest announcement on the front page and on top here. So the first thing we do is we would sort it by category, and we want financial result, right? And okay, we submit, and then we now this is also not sorted other than chronologically arranged, so we want to select out only NLab, right? NLab is here, and then we submit again. So what we have here is NLab's quarterly result sorted out in one page, and then we can open the tab accordingly. So you can see I have opened up here the tab for 4 quarterly result of NLab. The first one is the latest, the quarter ended 31st October 2016, right? So what we're going to do is to transfer these 2 columns of numbers to our spreadsheet here, right? Now I want to teach you 2 steps that will make that process easier. The first step is actually to hide these 3 intervening columns of blank. So what you do is you go to column and you hide it, so that you put by doing that you put the 2 columns that we want to fill up side by side here, right? And the second thing I want to teach you is to use alternate tab. You look at your keyboard, you have alternate at the bottom, and tab is one of the key on the right. So if you press alternate, then you press tab, you bring the 2 documents that you have, where you just sort of like toggle in between them. So alright, we have 31st October 2016 numbers here. Alright, you can see this one 39110, right? We want to transfer it to here 39110, and you tap, move to October 15th revenue blank, and when you do alternate tab, you're back to this page, right? 41414, and then you enter and jump straight to the pre-tax profit blank for October 2016. Again, alternate tab, you're on the Bursa quarterly result page, right? 4134, and tab, and you jump over to this blank, and alternate tab, you're here again 4604, enter, and you do that for the rest. Right. Right, I'll pause here. Now we are we are down to the last row of numbers, and I've already copied this number here. So the next one I'm supposed to copy is this one. Now there's a point to note here. This number is the number for as at the preceding financial year end. It is not the net asset per share for 31st October 2015. It is actually the net asset per share as at 30th April 2016. That is the preceding year. That will be 16, right? So you shouldn't fill it inside here. So for now we just put it not available, because if you want the number, you have to actually extract it from another set of quarterly result. Right, now that you have completed this one, you unhide it, right, and so the next one you want to do is for July 2016 and 15. So the intervening columns, you hide it again, right? So now we're going to go to July, and July is this tab here, right? 31st July 2016, and you repeat the process over again. again, we are down to this last box here, and again it is not this number, so we put it not available, right? And since we are finished, we would now unhide the columns, right? So we have done, half of our job, so we have to 4 more columns to fill up, right? Then you can repeat it and do it yourself. If you have done it, this is how it would look like. All right. Well, actually this is how it would look like, and this should be all blank. I tell what I'll do is I would I would just just fill it up with blank here first. All right, I'll show you the step of doing it, right? So it's blank here. So what you do is you just copy these 2 columns of number up to earning per share, and you paste it down here, right? And you do the same for October 2015, and you paste it down here. Now basically you're taking last quarter and the immediate preceding quarter, yeah. So we can do the so-called quarter-on-quarter comparison, or to examine the sequential changes. And then you also have same quarter last year, so that we can do a year-on-year comparisons. And the next step you do is to put in the formula. Say the formula will be equal to open bracket, this number minus this number, close bracket, divide by this number times 100. So this is the formula, and it's the same all the way down, so you drag it down. And the next one will be, and the formula will be equal to open bracket, this number minus last year number, right? Close bracket, divided by this number times 100, right? Drag it down. Sometimes the number is too big, so you have to I think I got the wrong formula here. Let's try again. So this number is this formula is equal to open bracket, this one minus this one, close bracket, divide by this one times 100, right? Okay, this is correct, yeah. So so from here we can see that the quarter ended 31st October. The revenue dropped, whether you compared it with the immediate preceding quarter or with last year's number, right? And in terms of the profits, it's a bit mixed. Pre-tax profit dropped, whether it is quarter on quarter or year on year, and profit after tax improved, compared to immediate preceding quarter, as well as compared to last year. And for net profit attributable to shareholders, is a mixed number, right? The next thing we'll do is to fill up this table here. All right, again it should be empty, so I'm gonna empty that. Let's just cover it here, right? So it's blank, right? What we're gonna do is that we're gonna transfer these 4 columns of number, which represent the performance for the last 4 quarters, and we're going to put it down here. Right. We're going to put it down here, and I'm going to leave one column here empty. That is actually to total up the result for the first 4 columns of numbers. And then we're going to copy this next 4 columns of number here, and we're going to paste it here, right? So what we have here is the result for the last 4 quarter results, and that will make it 1 year. And then on this side you have the preceding rolling 4 quarters result, right? If you add it up, that would represent 1 year. So we're gonna add it up, use the formula here, to sum it all up, and there you are, right? is not big enough, so I have to expand the size of this column, and the same apply here. So yep, and drag it out, yeah, up to here, right? So this one is yeah, you don't add up your net tangible asset or your net asset, so you just up to here only, and you know, these these four rows of numbers are in thousands, and these three rows of numbers are either in ringgit or in cents. So if it's in cent, it's best that we put them in 2 decimal point. Yeah, so you can actually see that, you know, your dividend increase and your earning per share increase and so on. So alright, now we have the last 1 year performance, or the last rolling 4-quarter result, and you also have the preceding 1 year performance or the preceding rolling 4-quarter results. So we're gonna now compare them. You know, we're gonna put in a formula here, right? Equal to open bracket minus this number minus this number here, close bracket, divided by this number times 100. All right. So revenue increased only about 1%, whereas profit actually increased, you know, from 40% to 60%, and dividend increased by about 8% from 3 cents to 3.25 cents. Right. So what can we conclude in terms of financial performance? In terms of financial performance, for the quarter, we can say that you know, the performance has deteriorated marginally, both in terms of revenue and as well as profit. Even though the net profit attributable to shareholder is, you know, is mixed. It's either, you know, down year on year, or it's up slightly quarter on quarter. But on the comparison of the last the rolling 4-quarter compared to the preceding rolling 4-quarter, you can clearly see that while revenue didn't increase, profit rose quite sharply. Yeah, right. So the next thing I want to point out is that we can now have the earning per share and also dividend per share for a full year for these particular stocks. It appears right here, right? So let me just embolden it them for you to see. These are the numbers, and of course we also have the book value, and these 3 numbers will help you to compute the relative valuation models, the price to earning ratio, yeah, using the earning per share here, dividend yield using the dividend per share here, and of course the price to book ratio using the NTA or the net asset per share right here. Right. So we have now done the 8-quarter profit and loss table computation, which is actually the basic worksheet for most of my analysis. And when I've done this and I've come to a conclusion that a stock is improving in terms of its financial performance and is also trading at a relatively attractive valuation, then I will post on the stocks. So I'll now give you you know, one example of how it looks like. So I'm gonna go to Astro. Yeah, I posted on this in December 2016. It's just a result update. It is not a full report. So yeah, I'll just comment a little bit on the performance, and here you have the table. The top part is the 8-quarter, you know, profit and loss table, and then in between you have the quarterly result analysis. Yeah? I compare the last quarter with the immediate preceding quarter, as well as compare that with the same quarter last year, and I put some the notes here to explain the changes in the performance of the company. If you go down a bit, you also have this graph that would show very clearly, the trend for revenue over the last, last 5 to 10 years. In the case of Astro, is 21 quarters. 21 quarters would be about 5 years, right? And if you move down a little bit, I also have one segment called valuation, and where the numbers that we computed from the 8-quarter P&L table will be used to draw a conclusion as to what is the P of the stocks as well as what's the dividend yield of the stocks, right? So this is how my report looks like for just a result update, right? Ladies and gentlemen, now I like to just bring it all together. My conclusion is that in this segment I've shown you how you can compile your own 8-quarter P&L table, and it is very useful for assessing the financial performance of a company in terms of that particular quarter performance, as well as to assess the full year financial performance, regardless of whether you have arrived at the financial year end of that particular company, because basically you would be looking at the rolling 4-quarter results, and then when you compare that with the preceding rolling 4-quarter result, then you can actually draw a conclusion whether the company is doing better or doing worse off than before. And of course we would then be able to determine the relative valuation of the stocks. So in the next video, I hope to share with you how I study the longer term trend of a company financial performance, and then I compare that with the movement in the share price of the stocks. I believe that in the market, share price always reflect the performance of the company. You can see more of that if you look into other posts that I have in my blog, which is nexttrade.blogspot.mind, and I hope to share more with you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you.